Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you'd like to support the ministry, you can do so through garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one is about, is the book of Esther a true story? While the book of Esther contains some interesting details that set it apart from the rest of the Bible, a growing body of empirical evidence suggests that the events described really did happen. Esther is the only book in the Hebrew scriptures that was not found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. The reason for the omission has puzzled people for decades. The elaborate descriptions of the palace in the opening chapters sound almost like a fairy tale, and a book does not explicitly mention Yahweh even once, though he is present in the background. He is the one who receives the prayers and prompts the king during the pivotal night that leads to the story's dramatic reversal. Archaeological evidence for the mausoleum of Esther and Mordecai in Hamadan, Iran, appears to support the veracity of the events. However, there is no evidence that the tomb existed before the Middle Ages. It is not mentioned in the early Jewish literature. However, there is reason to believe that Esther and Mordecai are more than fictional characters. Iranian academic Morza Arabazadeh Sarbani from the University of Tehran published two papers in recent years arguing that the events described in the biblical story of Esther may have more historical support than previously thought. In his paper, The Book of Esther as a Source for Archaean History, published in the Ancient Near East Today, Sabani writes a significant part of the historical material of the Book of Esther is in line with evidence. The most of the classical sources are unaware of this independence from the Greek sources makes the Book of Esther more important as a historical source for Archaean history than has traditionally been assumed. In his paper published in the International Journal of Ancient Iranian Studies, he provides an example from Esther 1:3 that speaks about the king's reign from the Persian capital of Susa. In the third year of his reign, he gave a feast for all his officials and servants, the army of Persia and Media, and the nobles and governors of the provinces were before him. Sarbani notes that the event is in line with historical evidence. A Babylonian document dated to the early 483 BC, the third year of Xerxes' reign, proves that he was in Susa at the time. Olmsted, 1948, 230 to 231. This perfectly matches the statement of the Book of Esther from a chronological point of view. Jewish people here lived in Iran for over 2,700 years, since they were forcibly exiled by the Babylonians in 586 BC. Isaac Yomatovian, author of My Iran Memories, Mysteries and Myths, recounts witnessing tombstones with Jewish symbolism dating back roughly 2,500 years. The historical ties remain strong, and the Jewish community in Iran continues to feel a deep connection to the story of the Book of Esther. Apart from Israel, the Jewish community currently living in Iran is the largest Jewish community in the Middle East and is one of the oldest continuous Jewish populations outside Israel, according to Ori Rayamayan in the Bet Avi Chai series, The Children of Esther, The History of the Jews of Iran. The Jewish community is an ancient religious minority in Iran. Ramian says when you meet immigrant Jewish Iranians, they will tell you all about the visit they paid to Hamadan, to the tombs of Esther and Mordecai, the heroes of the Megillah, the scroll of Esther, and about Cyrus the Great who saved the exiled Jews. These two events are the connecting link between Iranian history, Jewish Iranian history, and general Jewish history. Ramian notes in her lecture that a medieval Muslim geographer wrote that the city of Ifan in central Iran was founded by Jews who settled there after the exile from Jerusalem. She also traced the long history of the Jewish people in the land of exile, highlighting centuries of continuous presence. In 338 BCE, Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Iranian Achaemenid Empire, conquered Babylonia and other places, including the land of Israel. Ramian explains he declared that Jews may return back to Zion and rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. As viewed in the book of Isaiah, we may assume that at least a fraction of the Jews who didn't take up this opportunity went eastward to Iran, to Persia. So she suggests that the tolerance under Persian rule may explain the number of Jewish people who rose to influential positions, such as Ezra, the Jewish scribe, and Daniel, the king's dream interpreter. According to the Iranian Jewish tradition, Daniel, Mordecai, and Esther are all buried in Iran, but Ramian notes that the Iranians also hold to this tradition, referring to the book written in Judeo-Persian. The story of Esther has been well preserved among the Jewish community of Iran throughout the generations, with the belief that it is part of their history and heritage. As current events are shaping up, it is possible that the events in the book of Esther may soon be repeated. With the Feast of Purim on the horizon, the pattern of the story is not lost in Jewish communities worldwide. Plans to annihilate Israel have been declared, and we will see if the tables are turned on Israel's enemies once again. A repeated episode might not prove the historicity of the first event, but might allow us all to go to Iran and examine the evidence for ourselves. So, this is an amazing story, and also there is more evidence of King Cyrus, and it's sitting in the British Museum of Natural History, and it's called the Cyrus Cylinder, and it's the cylinder that Cyrus gave to the Jewish people to allow them to return home and rebuild their temple. So, was Esther and Mordecai and the wicked Haman in Iran at the time of Xerxes? Well, all the evidence points to it, and you can go and see the Cyrus cylinder in the British Museum if you want to disagree with me. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.